Welcome back to Remote Learning. I hope everyone's doing okay. This is the second video for 4th grade. 4th graders, we've talked a lot about perspective over the last couple of years. It's not just because it's one of my favorite subjects to talk about. It's also an extremely important skill to master and understand if you want to become any type of architect or designer. We've talked about forced perspective, where things appear to be bigger as they get closer to you and get smaller as they get further away. We've also talked about atmospheric perspective, where things appear to be darker in color as they're closer and lighter in color as they get further away. Today we're going to expand your understanding of one-point perspective. You already understand the horizon line, where the sky and the ground seem to meet. Then there's also the vanishing point, an invisible dot on the horizon line, where the diagonal lines seem to meet or point to. You can do all kinds of things using one-point perspective. You can design a room, you can draw a school hallway, you can draw a city block. Today I'm going to show you how to use one-point perspective to draw a small city block. Remember, perspective drawing is drawing what you actually see and not what you think you see. You're only going to need a pencil and a piece of paper for this project. Coloring is going to be optional. Alright, welcome back 4th grade. We are going to be working on one-point perspective. So I have my paper, I have my pencil, and I have my pencil sharpener. I'm also going to need a ruler for this, but I don't have a ruler anywhere around here, so let's see, what can I find? I am going to use a piece of cardboard. This is kind of like the cardboard that you might find at the back of your notebook. You can use any cardstock or any cardboard or anything you could use to make a straight line that's not too flimsy. So I'm going to set that to the side. Before we continue, we're going to fold our paper because we're going to need to find the center of the paper. So we're going to fold our paper long edge to long edge and then crease it. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but if you want it to be perfect and you're one of those perfectionists that need to find the perfect center, that's how you find the perfect center. Nothing wrong with being a perfectionist. Alright, so before I draw any lines, I'm going to draw some reference information over here on the side. Going to draw a line to separate this from the rest of my drawing. So there's 3 types of lines that we're going to need for this project, and listen to these words carefully. All of our sides are going to be either horizontal straight lines or vertical straight lines. All of our tops or bottoms are going to be diagonal lines. Alright, with that out the way, we can move on to one-point perspective. We did something like this in 2nd grade, but if you weren't at this school in 2nd grade, I'm going to re-explain all this stuff for you. First, I'm going to draw a horizon line. I'm going to hold the cardboard still with my free hand and then drag the pencil along the edge of the cardboard, making sure it touches the cardboard. If it's not touching the cardboard, it's not going to be a straight line from one side to the other side. This is our horizon line. They call it the horizon because it's the furthest your brain can make sense of through your eyeballs. Unless you have superhuman sight, it's the furthest the eyes can see, the horizon. That's why you hear stuff like over the horizon. Next, we're going to draw a vanishing point. This is a diagonal line, or invisible line, where all of our diagonal lines seem to meet, point to, or touch. Now I'm going to make the tops and the bottoms of the sidewalk. So they're going to be diagonal lines. Make sure that my cardboard is lined up with the vanishing point, and I'm going to draw the bottom of the sidewalk towards the edge of the paper, rotate my cardboard, and then I'm going to draw the top of the sidewalk. You'll see they both both lines touch the vanishing point, or at least point to the vanishing point. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to do the bottom of the sidewalk, diagonal line, rotate my cardboard, and then do the top. All these diagonal lines touch or point towards the vanishing point. Now we're going to be making a city in 1 point perspective. Now we're going to move on to the bottoms and the tops of the buildings. I'm going to draw my line for the bottoms and the tops of the building all the way to the vanishing point, even though I'm not going to keep all of that line. It's just going to be a guideline. So I'm going to draw lightly because I'm going to have to erase part of it. So this is going to be the bottoms of my building. And the tops of my building are going to go above the horizon line. Make sure it's angled, pointing towards the vanishing point. And I draw from the vanishing point lightly, and I'm going to draw out to the edge of the paper. So this is going to be the tops of the buildings, diagonal line, and bottoms of the buildings, diagonal line. Now I'm going to start separating the buildings for the sides, which are obviously going to be straight lines because I said sides. So you can start to see the forced perspective. The buildings that are closer are going to be larger. And as they get further away towards the vanishing point, they're going to get smaller. So here's one side of a building. And now I'm going to move over a little bit because I don't want them to be right next to each other. And I'm going to start doing the side of my other building. And now this is one building. And let's see, I want it to be about this wide for this side. So it's going to be a straight vertical line. So now we have one building and we have two buildings. I'm going to move over a little bit. Start my last building side, and I'm going to make that one a little bit wider. So now we have three buildings. Now I'm going to erase the parts that I don't need. I only need the building, so I don't need this space in between yet. We already know it's pointing towards the vanishing point. So I can erase all the stuff that I don't need. Now I'm going to do for building 2 and 3, I'm going to do the sides of those buildings, the alley part here. Now I said sides, so those are going to be what? Diagonal or straight? Right, they're going to be straight lines because I said sides. So here is the side down here and the side up there. So now we have diagonal front and we have straight on the sides, the alley part in between the buildings. I'm going to do the same thing for building number 2. This side right here and this side up there. Now, congratulations, you have the buildings 1, 2, and 3 drawn in perspective. To help you, if you want it to be darker so you can see what you're doing, you can shade in the sides more carefully than I'm doing there. And now we can go through and erase the part of the horizon line that we don't need anymore. We don't want it to be going through our buildings. We don't need that anymore. So this is our city on one side. We got our city buildings, and we have our grass, and we have our sidewalk. Then we have the middle of the street, then we have the sidewalk across the street, and over here we're going to make some trees. Now, the easiest way to make trees is to draw two curved lines. One on the left, and then one on the right. It kind of curves at the bottom and then kind of goes straight up. At the top, you can draw kind of like a cloud shape. Now you'll see that the reason why I drew this tree so big is because of forced perspective. It's closer to the bottom of the paper or the viewer, so it's bigger. I'm going to erase the line going through the tree. I'm going to draw another tree behind it. That's going to be a little bit smaller. Because of, that's right, forced perspective. So the further you get up the paper in your little park across the street, the smaller the trees are going to get. So now I have my park across the street. I can add more stuff to the park over here if I would like. And now I can go back to my city and I can show you how to do doors and windows and stuff like that. So, for the tops and the bottoms of the windows, remember I said tops and bottoms, you have to do diagonal lines. We're going to do guidelines again because we're going to make sure that they're pointing towards the vanishing point, so lightly. You can do whatever kind of windows you want. Then I angle my ruler to do the tops. Make sure they're pointing towards the vanishing point. So you see now I set up my guidelines for my windows. Now to do the sides of the windows, we know those are going to be straight lines because we said side. And you can do, like I said, whatever type of window you would like. Big windows, small windows, skinny windows. So this is one window here. The top is diagonal, the bottom is diagonal, and the sides are straight. Once you get to the detail on the inside, you don't have to be as precise. But for the shape of the window, you want to draw it in perspective. Let's draw a bigger window over here. The sides, which means straight lines. So now my top of my big window is diagonal, the bottom of my big window is diagonal, and the sides are straight. You can do the same thing for doors. Doors are also really easy. We're going to use the bottom of the building as the bottom of the door, and we just need to do a guideline for the tops. Make sure it's pointing towards the vanishing point. And now I just need to drop some straight lines for the sides of my doors. They can be however wide you would want them to be, or however skinny. And now I have a diagonal top and straight lines for the sides. Remember, you're going straight up and down for the sides. And you're going diagonal for the tops and the bottoms. Let's see, I can make I'll make another door here just to show you. Once you have everything drawn the way you like it, I can even turn this into a sign if I want to, instead of a window. This is open. You can do whatever you would like for your city, as long as you remember these references. Sides are going to be straight horizontal, straight vertical. Tops or bottoms are going to be diagonal. You'll see that these, since they were the sides of the buildings, are straight lines. These alley lines. And you can just draw the rest of the city however you would like. You can challenge yourself to maybe do another building up here, or you can do buildings on the other side of the street instead of a park. You can color this if you would like, but you don't have to. Whoa, 4th grade, I'm back again. I almost let you leave assuming that you knew what to do with these guidelines. I never want to assume when I'm teaching that everybody knows what to do all the time. So, these parts of the lines that are not part of your design, we call it guidelines, just to make sure that they were pointing towards the vanishing point. And we can erase anything that's not part of our final design. Now, if you care about realism for the sidewalk, you can use your ruler, and the lines are going to be straight or horizontally straight across. And the closer they are to the bottom of the paper, which is closer to the viewer, the more spread apart they're going to be. They're not going to be as close. As you move up the paper towards the horizon line, they start to get closer. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but this is just for realism. The closer they get to the horizon line, the closer they seem. The more they're closer to, if they're closer to the bottom of the paper, the lines are more spread out. And then they seem like they are closer to each other as they get closer to the vanishing point. Again, don't have to do that, just for the sake of realism, if you care about that. And now you're all done. City drawn in 1-point perspective.
mrcobbsart.com. They say